I was at work today and I opened my social media to find out that one of our friend, female wrestler, very talented young woman, who was only 22 years old, committed suicide. And I was just, I was speechless and I was devastated. In this world where we are living now, um, everybody has access to social media. We all have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We are all trying to put our content out there. We are trying to put ourselves out there. We are trying to showcase what we can do, promote ourselves. But at the same time, we are doing what we love to do. That being said, I know, and I have been through it personally, because when you start in an industry where you have so many people competing for one little spot, it's very, very, very hard. And for some people, it comes naturally, for others, it doesn't. And when you put yourself out there, you put your heart, you put your soul, you put your mistakes, you put your failure, you put everything that you have for somebody to sit behind their computers and judge you and send you mean, mean, mean messages, tell you whatever they want to tell you, call you names. They feel like they need to tell you how they feel without thinking about how what they're saying might affect you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And this is just heartbreaking. It is. And for me, it's, I cannot explain how I feel right now. Like I am broken in thousand pieces inside me. So I am from a little country called Guinea Conakry in West Africa. And when I started wrestling 4 years ago, I went through a lot. You know, the beginning was very, very hard. Not to say that it's still not hard, but it's not as hard as it was when I first started. You see, in my country, we watch wrestling on TV. That's all we do. And probably 10% of the people watch wrestling. That's all. We don't have any wrestling school. No. We don't know any wrestlers. We don't have access to, like, wrestlers here. Oh, we're gonna sign autograph, or we're gonna go to, watch indie wrestling and stuff like that. We don't have access to none of that. So when I first started wrestling, and my people saw me do what I love to do, they didn't understand. They were just thinking, why, and why, and why? Because I am Muslim. I grew up in Africa. My parents are African, 100% African, and I speak the language. I do what they do. I say what they say. So they were relating to me in that aspect, but they were not understanding, not even trying to understand where I was coming from. They were just seeing me as a woman who just needed to be in the kitchen, get married, and have kids, and move on with your life. That's it for me. But that's not what I want. No, I still don't want that. So I go for what I want. When I started, I received so many mean comments, so many mean messages, so many mean Facebook groups that would talk, you know, all bad and all kind of stuff about me. And some of my people would send it to me, and sometimes I would sit down and ask myself, like, why am I even doing this? Like, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna not make it? Should I keep trying? Should I keep fighting? And the other thing is, I was training very hard. I was training all day, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I was giving my all and my best to be the best version of me. And I remember my trainers telling me, you have to take it easy. You have to go, and take a break. Like, I know you want it, but this is not the way you want to have it. But I wasn't listening, because I put myself under so much pressure, because I wanted to prove every single person wrong, and I wanted to succeed too. But at that time, when I was receiving all these messages and I didn't know how to deal with it, the only way I was able to deal with my depression and my pressure, like that pretty much today I can say that I inflated that pressure on me. But back then it was just, go and work out and work and just be away from people and not talk to people. That's how I was feeling back then. And not to lie, it got so bad that I had to go see a doctor because I couldn't sleep and I was always like awake. Like I had to take ZQL too sometimes to sleep, and he put me under this depression medicine. But I wasn't functioning too right when I was taking that, those depression medicine. I was like, no, this is not for me. Like I have to find another solution. But I honestly didn't talk about it. I was just going with my life because I know I'm such a happy person. Like I am always bubbly. I like to play around, mess around, and I like to make people feel good when they're around me. I like to take care of people. I like to help them out when they need my help. But what I don't like, to be honest, what I don't like is to feel like I'm a burden. Like I have to tell somebody, hey, can you help me? I don't want to do that. I want to do everything myself. Well, now I don't, because now I do ask for help. But it was that bad. It was honestly that crazy. And I would be driving and crying, or going to bed and crying, and taking my shower and crying. And it was very, 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 it wasn't beautiful at all. And I remember I wrestled um, Raylan one time, and she asked me, she said, something is not right. Like, you're always happy, but something is wrong. And I remember that day telling her, and I just felt like I was talking to somebody who was listening to me and somebody who cared about me. And I told her, I feel so much pressure, and I just started crying. But as I was telling her, my heart felt like my heart was so heavy when I was talking to her. I felt like I had like 100 pounds of weight like sitting on my heart, and I was like, I had this big pressure. And when I talked to her, I felt so good, and she just told me whatever she needed to tell me, and which was very, very helpful. But a lot of people don't have that chance. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, and you just have to be supportive in this business. The business that I do, wrestling, or no matter what you do, whatever you do, you're gonna find some competition. That's the truth, you know. You're not gonna be just going in the business and be like, oh yeah, I'm the only person, oh yeah, I got it. You have to fight hard, you have to keep pushing, and through those obstacles you're gonna find that sometimes the things that you think you can handle, you can't deal with it. And that's the problem. Some people have different ways of dealing with things. Some people are not strong enough mentally, physically, emotionally. Some people don't know how to express themselves. Some people just don't want to express themselves. Some people just rather take the shortcuts and just do whatever they have to do. And I'm not judging anybody. So for you people out there who sit behind your computer telling people exactly how they should live their life, what they did wrong, what they did right, this is like up, this is down, you need to consider before you send those emails, those text messages, those DMs. You need to consider what you're saying. You need to think about it. What about if I was saying this to my sister, to my mother? Or what about if somebody was saying this, like these things to me, these meaningful things to me? Because all we are doing as entertainers is to put our content out there. And I can only talk for myself. I'm all about women empowerment, supporting others, making sure we grow together, talking to you guys, receiving, giving, whatever I can do to make you feel comfortable. That's what I want to do. And whatever you can do in return to help me out, I'll be more than appreciative of every single help that you send my way. And I tell my people, listen, I need help. I honestly need help. And I express myself. And I wish I knew this. Like, I would say even 10 years ago, telling people I need help. This is what I need. But I didn't know that until I would say the past year, pretty much. But you have to be nice to people. You really have to learn how to be nice to people. And it's not about, oh, I'm always negative, I don't see things in the positive way. You have to train your mind. You can train your mind, you can train your brain to function the way you want your brain to function. For example, if you wake up every morning and say, oh, I'm gonna have a crappy day, guess what? You're gonna attack your day with a negative sense of humor or ways. I don't know how to say that in English. So I think you know what I'm saying. I hope you know what I'm saying. But if you wake up every single morning being positive, oh, I have a job but I don't want to go to work, nah, 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 you're gonna be complaining. Well, how about I have a job, so I have a source of income to help me be independent, and that makes me happy. If your independence makes you happy, you don't like to work, but you're still gonna get up and go to work because you're providing that happiness to you. You're providing that happiness and being independent and doing whatever you love to do. So, as much as I would like to sit here and talk to you guys all night about all these things that we can do right and all these things that we can change, at the end of the day, there is only one person that will change your ways, and that's you. You have to be willing to accept the fact that you need help, and then you have to ask for help. And for some people, it's too late, it won't happen. Like what happened to our dear friend Hannah, and this is just heartbreaking. But if you need help, ask for help. If you are one of those people who send messages because you just feel like, oh, I have access to whatever and this is my social media and I can send a message to whomever I want to send a message to, please, I'm telling you, sit down and rethink about the consequences of your message that you're going to send. And if you're not sure about if it's a good or bad message, you can always share that message with somebody else. Hey, I want to send this message to this person. Maybe this is good or not. Like, always try to think about the other person. I know you're going to say, I have to think about me first. That's not how it works. It's a teamwork. Life is a teamwork. You cannot do all the things by yourself. It's a forever teamwork. We have to work together. We have to be nice to each other. We have to be kind to one another. We have to be supportive. We have to listen. We have to do all these things in order for us to have a successful life. Being happy in your life is a success. That's the biggest success that you're going to have. That's my goal. That's why every single day I preach and I preach and I preach and I preach, and I find other ways to share my, happiness and, motivation and all the stuff that I can do. And if I can change one person's life at the time, then that's what I'm gonna do. So guys, please just remember, let's be nice to each other. Let's be happy, let's be supportive. Let's be kind, because stuff like this should not happen. It shouldn't. But it takes time to learn. And it already happened, which is unfortunate. But when it happened, that's when we get to learn too why it shouldn't happen. We gotta help each other. So I think we can do it. Yeah. And yeah. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video.